Welcome to another episode of A Sandwich and Some Love. And tonight, it's just a sandwich. That would be me, Kellie Raspberry Evans. My co-host, Alan Evans, we had a bit of a family emergency, and he had to go take care of it. We were literally a minute and 17 seconds into recording the podcast when we had to stop and start over with just wah. But that's all right. This is going to just prove to the world, or maybe it'll prove to the world I'm not capable of handling it on my own. Oh, wow. That was just an overwhelming thought. But I'm going to do my best to entertain you by myself. I would call Emma Kellie to come down, but, you know, dealing with an almost 13-year-old, it's kind of an iffy proposition. And I don't know how that would go over. So I'm just going to wing it on my own. That's what I'm going to do. But thank you for joining me, Kellie Raspberry Evans, and not me and my husband, Alan Evans, for another episode of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. It has been a really crazy weekend. It really has. I didn't have to. I got to. I had the privilege of flying to Wichita, Kansas on Saturday. I flew in. You know how liberating it is to walk into an airport with no suitcase, no carry-on bags, no nothing, just you and your little crossbody clutch. Stay tuned to EmmaKellieandMe.com for the latest on that. But I walk in and I just go sit on the plane. It was like not even a full plane, so I had the exit row all to myself. I could spread out, play Best Fiends the whole time. Y'all, I'm practically addicted. Let me tell you what level I'm up to, like 300 and something. 300 and something, anyway. So I did that, and I got to Wichita, Kansas, and when I got there, it was pouring rain. But within 10 minutes, the rain cleared out, the sun came out. It was a beautiful day. I understand from the Wichita, Kansas people that happens quite a bit. But the people of Wichita, Kansas are so incredibly nice, so welcoming, so wonderful. I loved it there, and everybody was so nice to me. Thank you so much. I actually had some people come up to me, one lady who wrote a book and gave me an autographed copy of her book. I wish I had a copy of it here in front of me right now. Of course, I do not, so I cannot. I think it's called Unbroken. I think the book was called Unbroken, and so look that up. She's self-published, which I think is an awesome thing. Everybody's been after me to write a book for many, many years, but you know what? I don't know where to begin, so I haven't done that. But we also had some members of the podcast family vacation. Leah and Josh came by with their kids, and we got to hang out and have some barbecue lunch and visit for a minute. So that was really a lot of fun too. So that was a fun trip, a quick trip to Wichita. Flew in, flew back. Again, exit row all by myself. Best way to fly. I highly recommend day in, day out travel. And this coming weekend, I'm going to Augusta, Georgia. I'm flying into Augusta Friday. I'm going to be hanging out for the Border Bash, giving away a chance for people to win up to $25,000 in cash, which is really cool. And I'm going to be hanging out, hopefully, with some other members of the podcast family from our vacation in Mexico, Audrey Decker. Hopefully, she's going to be able to make it out. So it's really fun that we've developed a little community here. We've become a little family. It makes me very happy. So I'm going to fly into Augusta, and then I'm going to fly back the next morning at like 5:30 a.m. So I guess Audrey's just going to have to keep me entertained. We're going to stay up all night and figure out what there is to do to keep me awake all night in Augusta, Georgia, because I'm flying back at 5:30 the next day, because if I took a later flight, I would be getting in probably at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but I have to get back because it's my daughter's birthday. Not technically, but we have to celebrate her birthday next weekend. We looked at the schedule. It was just a big, gigantic mess. So she wants to do, this is what a almost 13-year-old wants to do. She wants to take a group of friends to this little strip mall area that's really popular. She wants to take them all out to eat and then go shopping, quotes, because that means just go take a bunch of selfies in stores. And then she wants to have a sleepover. We can't have a sleepover at my house because the upstairs, except for the children's bedrooms, has been turned into our Emma Kellie and Me headquarters that we told you about. Was it last podcast or 2 podcasts ago? I can't remember. But it's been turned into our headquarters. And there is a photo studio up there. There is merchandise up there. There a lot of stuff up there that can be ruined by a group of almost 13-year-old girls. So I'm trying to get a hotel room for us all to go. And, you know, thankfully, I'll tell you what, if you're a divorced person and you are dealing with an ex-husband or an ex-wife who has married someone, let me tell you, do your best to make that a positive relationship because it makes life a lot easier. My ex-husband's wife is going to help me chaperone all these girls. In what universe does this happen? This happens in mature adult universe. So I just think that people who are divorced, you get past the anger, you move on, you learn how to be civil and work with each other and make it work. And when you need a favor, hey, I'm here to help you because you know what? Eventually you're going to need me. And so let's just make it work, people. That's my message for all the divorced families out there right now. So my ex-husband's wife is going to help me chaperone these girls. And we're trying to get a hotel room because I can't have it here. And it's just been a bit of a problem because it's Texas OU weekend and every hotel room apparently is booked. So I'm trying to work it out. So on a wish and a prayer and a lot of prayer, I'm trying to get a room for us next weekend. So wish me luck on that. I'll have something to tell you hopefully next Sunday. But we do have to get to the podcast today. Alan and I had so much stuff we were going to talk to you about, but now it's just me. So I'm going to wing it. But it's going to be so good. But first I want to tell you about this company I discovered very recently called Everlane. I actually heard about it because with my job with the Kid Craddock Morning Show, I have to follow all the gossip websites and things. I do celebrity gossip. I try to stick away from the really salacious stuff, but I have to talk about what's going on in the rumor mill. But Meghan Markle, the world is fixated on her. I'm so proud of Prince Harry for sticking up for her because I don't understand this negative backlash against her. Is it because she is mixed race? Is it because she is an American marrying a British person? I don't know. I love Meghan Markle. And so when she wears something, I pay attention. And so I noticed she was wearing, and it's in all the magazines. Everybody wants to know what she's wearing and it sells out immediately, right? So she was just on this trip to, was it South Africa or Africa? I think it was South Africa with her husband, the prince, when he unleashed that letter yelling at everybody for being mean to his wife. Good for Harry. But she was walking around these cute little red flats. And everybody said, oh, you know where she got those flats? Those flats were from Everlane. And this is the company I was telling you about. You know that t-shirt dress I wear, that kind of reddish t-shirt dress? I wore it to the State Fair of Texas last week because it's still 1,000,000 degrees here in Texas. Everybody says, where'd you get that dress? It's Everlane. Let me tell you about the company Everlane. And Meghan Markle chooses it because it is one of those companies that is all about being completely transparent with their practices of making clothing. They want you to know how they made it. They want you to know why they're charging what they're charging for what they make. And because they're not going through the traditional retail route, they're able to charge you less than if they were going through the malls and things like that because it's all online. So they tell you the real cost. They're radically transparent every step of the process, from the materials they use to the ethical factories they work with. This is a very big issue in 2019. And no matter your style or preference, Everlane's clothes look better, they cost less, they last longer because they're quality. And because Everlane sells directly to you, 30 to 50% lower than traditional retailers. Now, Meghan was wearing on her recent trip the editor slingback in persimmon suede. Persimmon suede, gorgeous. Now, I have gotten a lot of compliments on that pocket tee dress. Love it, but it was a summer find. So now they've got they might have some on sale. I don't know. You can look at the website, everlane.com, but they have all their fall stuff coming in that's really cute. They have 100% grade A cashmere, quality cotton basics, premium Japanese denim made at the world's cleanest denim factory. I'm telling you, you need to check out Everlane because I love it. Meghan Markle loves it. Angelina Jolie loves it too. They're quality basics, not all the frills. It's just like the good pieces for your wardrobe that you need. And right now you can check out the personalized collection at everlane.com/sandwich to get free shipping on your first order. Everlane.com/sandwich. That's everlane.com/sandwich. Go look up at the editor slingback if you want to know exactly what Meghan Markle was wearing and order that. All right, let's see. Alan had a bunch of stuff saved, and I want to kind of save it for him because it was about communicating with daughters. And that's a very big deal, that father-daughter dynamic. I remember when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, the worst time with my father. And I've tried to kind of talk to him about, just sometimes it's real emotional and very difficult. I think there comes a time in a young girl's life when she's a child that her father truly is her first love, right? The girl, the dad comes home, you run up and jump in his arms and you just love your dad so much. But then, I don't know, I probably need to talk to a psychologist about this. I haven't done any psychotherapy. But there comes a point when you start having feelings for boys, right? And then you realize there's a confusion going on in your body. Your hormones are changing, everything. And suddenly you really like these boys, but you're like, ooh, my dad, ooh, he's a boy too. And so you kind of distance yourself from dad, right? And suddenly I remember very vividly, and I hate this because I know how much it must have hurt my father's heart, when I couldn't even tell him I loved him for a while. I just felt icky telling my dad, I love you. I was like, ugh, I didn't want to do that because it was just a weird dynamic. It's a very confusing time, going from a child to becoming a woman. So he's got some stuff about communicating with daughters and starting conversations with daughters that we were going to talk about tonight, but we can't get to. But I will tell you some other stuff that I've got, which I think is pretty fun. I love, on the Kid Craddock Morning Show, Big Al was doing, what the holiday of the day was. That was stripped from him and given to Anna. She's now doing the holidays and birthdays. But it is interesting. I think it's important to celebrate certain things, and you have to have time to prepare. Like I didn't even know this past Friday was National Taco Day. I didn't have time to prepare for National Taco Day. Somebody give me the memo. I thought Taco Day would have been on a Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, hello. But no, it was Friday. How random was that? So I didn't have time to prepare like a taco buffet or make a reservation for tacos for everybody. Anyway, I digress. But October does have a lot of interesting holidays, and I'm going to tell you what's coming up so you don't miss it. All right, so let's see. We've already missed blah, blah, blah. We missed Taco Day. That was on October 4th. Made me so mad. October 8th is Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur begins. That's the Day of Atonement, which means Jewish people can do nothing fun all day, from what I understand. Jewish listeners, my Jewish podcast family members, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I understand of Yom Kippur, you can't do anything fun because you've got to atone for all of your sins from the previous year. That means what? You can't do fun stuff. I think some people are like really strict. They can't even have sex because that's considered fun too. Unless for some people it's considered an obligation. Then maybe you could do it. On October 13th, it's No Bra Day, but here's the problem with that. October 13th falls on a Sunday this year. Who's going to go braless to church? I dare you. I double dog dare you on No Bra Sunday to go. No Bra Day on Sunday to go to church with no bra. Let me know if you do it. I'll give you like a high five virtually for that. 10/14 is Columbus Day. Now, isn't that something that some people are trying to get canceled because Columbus is supposed to be a really bad guy because he did bad things? I think it's politically incorrect to celebrate Columbus Day. So you know how I am about being politically correct. I'm all about it. So let's not celebrate Columbus Day this year. Boo Columbus. October 15th is National Pug Day. Do you like pugs? I know pugs are very trendy. I know pugs have a lot of health problems and they shed quite a bit. I'm all about, we should have a national non-shedding dog day. I think that'd be a better holiday in my opinion. But pugs are cute. I'll give you that. October 16th is Boss Day, Boss Man George. Got to do something for Boss Man George. What can I do for Boss Man George? Y'all give me suggestions. Email me, contact me. Go to kellyandalan.com. Somewhere on there is a way to communicate with us. I personally have never been able to figure out how to check email from kellyandalan.com. Alan forwards emails to me from that, which I greatly appreciate. And let me know what you think we should do for Boss Man George. Maybe we will sing a song for him. Maybe we'll write a song for him. Maybe we can have Boss Man George on the Sandwiches and Lovin' podcast. We've been trying to do that forever. Maybe that'll be the day. Because Boss Man George, if you've ever heard him speak, hey man, I can't do it. Alan does it. If you ever heard Boss Man George speak, I think that if Boss Man George were to sing, he would sound a lot like Johnny Cash. That's my thinking. So I'm thinking we're going to have Boss Man George on to celebrate Boss's Day and have him sing Johnny Cash. Let's make that happen. Saturday, October 26th is National Trick or Treat Day. Now, I'll tell you what, this is something I can get behind. I would like to see this happen. I know that traditionally Halloween is October 31st. No matter what day of the week it falls on, it's always October 31st. But a group of rational people got together and said, look, let's make Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is not a floating holiday. It's always the third Thursday of the month or the fourth? I don't remember. They want to make National Trick or Treat Day the last Saturday of October. Isn't that really smart? Because you've got school, you've got people coming home from work. It's dangerous to go out trick-or-treating during rush hour traffic for a lot of people. I think that's a brilliant idea. They actually got a bunch of people to sign a petition to make this happen, but obviously it hasn't happened. So if you're a kid, you're like, well, I'm going to do this National Trick-or-Treat Day, and they show up to my door on Saturday night, I might not be home. But I think the last Saturday of the month of October should be National Trick-or-Treat Day. I love that idea. Let's see what a sandwich and some lovin' can do to get behind that. Are you with me? I can't hear anything. I'm assuming you're all with me because Halloween, of course, is Thursday this year, which actually is great because my husband, because the way Halloween falls for the past 4 years that I've known him, at least 3 or 4 years, we haven't had the kids for Halloween. This is the first Halloween we've had them, because it falls on a Thursday, which is traditionally our night of the week to have them for visitation. Everybody's visitation rules are different. With my ex-husband, we didn't go by what the court papers said. We just did what worked for us because he travels a lot for work. And we came up with the holiday schedule. It was a little different. We didn't go by that first, third, and fifth weekend thing. We did the 2 minor, 1 major holidays. So if it's your year to have them for Halloween and Thanksgiving, the other one got them for Christmas. See, because we considered the Halloween and Thanksgiving to be the minor, Christmas to be the major. So that's what we did. And then the next year I would get Christmas and he would get Halloween, Thanksgiving. So that's what we do. And it worked out really well for us. But we're so excited to have the kids this year for Lord, I had a Buzzball before we came on because I needed one. But we're doing the kids for Halloween this year. This is, okay, as of the day, what's today? October 6th, as I'm recording this solo because my husband had to go take care of a family emergency. So last year, I thought I was being so smart. Our youngest, who is now 7, Dylan, the boys are obsessed with Star Wars. And Target, every once in a while, I'm not really good because I have to work in the mornings and stuff when they put everything on sale after a holiday for 90% off or whatever. They used to do that. Now they start with 50% off and they gradually do 90% off. So anyway, I went in and miraculously there was a Darth Vader costume, a really nice one for 90% off. And it was for 6 and 7-year-olds. So I was like, grab it and hold on to it just in case because Dylan loves Star Wars. Well, he's like, I don't want to be Darth Vader this year. At first, he started off wanting to be Patrick Mahomes. And so Alan was all excited about that because Patrick, went to Texas Tech, guns up, Red Raiders. And now he's playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, which actually the game is on right now as I'm recording this. Anyway, so he wants to be that. So I'm like, well, that's fine. My bad for assuming he might want to be Darth Vader, right? It was not that much money. But then today he comes back and says he's changed his mind. Now he wants to be a ninja or something. I don't know where. I guess they watch TV and stuff and see these cartoons and commercials and stuff. But here's the problem. It's like, it's only October 6th. If we buy him a costume today, he might change his mind 5 times between now and Halloween. So I don't know what to do about that. Our 11-year-old Cole, he is at the age where, I want to trick or treat, but I want to give out candy. So he's like torn. So I told him to go do a lap with his dad, and then he can come back and help me give out Halloween candy. And Kellie, I thought would be over it, but she's 13 in just a couple weeks. Last year, her stepmom, again, listen, if you're having problems with your exes and their wives or husbands, y'all need to figure it out. It makes life a lot easier because last year, Emma Kelly's stepmom, bonus mom, or whatever y'all want to say, who's going to yell at me for saying stepmom, did this whole really cute avocado outfit for her. It was perfect. It was like a sandwich. You know the sandwich boards, how people that are advertising stuff wear sandwich boards? She did that kind of thing, but it was avocado with a pit and everything. And Kellie loved it. But I thought she'd be over it this year, but she wants to go out with her friends. I don't know what she's going to be. And then Brooke, our oldest, is 14. I don't even know if she's into it or not. We'll see. She'll probably want to go out with her friends. But hopefully we'll have some fun Halloween stories to tell you about because that is coming up in just a few weeks. And listen, I found this little bit of tidbit. I usually get my candy from Costco. Walmart has the same ones too. In my old house, I was the house that everybody knew was the lady who gave out the full-size candy bars. That was me. I love being that house in the neighborhood. I wanted that reputation. I would buy 150 candy bars just to be on the safe side. And I love that. But here's the thing. I'm living in a new neighborhood. And last year for Halloween, it was our first Halloween here. And it was pouring rain. And our cul-de-sac, which is another dream of mine to always live in a cul-de-sac, my neighbors told me they always do is they set up these tables for kids to come around and they sit out and drink wine and stuff and kind of socialize while kids come up and get the candy. But they didn't do that last year because of the rain. So I don't know what to expect this year. But, if I'm out there giving away candy and we're all out there together, am I going to stand out giving out full-size candy bars? I don't think so. So do I invest in that or do I just give them like handfuls of like stuff they don't want? Like gummy bears. Oh, no, not gummies, like those little taffy things. Do kids like that? I don't know. But here's the thing. If you have not already bought your Halloween candy, which I have not, you might want to wait until it's almost the end of the month because according to reviewed.com, retail research reveals shoppers get the best deals on candy 4 days before Halloween. That's the magic number. So on October 27th, that's when you get the best deal. They're trying to clear out the candy, right? But here's the flip side. They say if you wait until the day before All Hallows Eve, you're going to spend almost twice as much. I don't know about that. I seem to remember candy being on clearance. But I'm going to probably bite the bullet and do full-size candy bars because that's just in my spirit. That's my Halloween spirit. And that's what I'm going to do. So y'all do you. I'm going to do me, and I am going to be the most popular person in the neighborhood, hopefully, for Halloween. Now, let me tell you what Alan and I just got in the mail, and we are so excited. We got some meat in the mail. I love getting stuff delivered to my house. I love subscription services. I love it for everything. Eventually, I'm never going to have to leave my house. I'm going to make them set up everything in my home. I'm doing my podcast from home. Why can't I do the morning radio show from home? I can have groceries delivered. I can have dry cleaning delivered. Now I've got all my meat delivered thanks to ButcherBox. And I'll tell you why I like ButcherBox. Because Alan and I have been trying to eat way more healthy. And we both went on the Red Mountain weight loss program. People ask us about all the time. And we're trying to eat the cleanest meat possible, the cleanest, leanest meats. And you go to the grocery store and sometimes that is really hard to find. They give you very limited selection and it's exorbitantly priced. But here's the thing about ButcherBox. They make it convenient. They have this is the thing. I eat meat, but I want the animals that I get my meat from to be treated humanely. While these animals are on this planet, I want them to have a happy life. I want them to have a good life. I just want to know that my meat and my seafood comes from ethically resourced places. And that's what ButcherBox does. That's what I really appreciate. Plus, it's really good food, really quality meat. All the meat is free of antibiotics and added hormones. Each box has 9 to 11 pounds of meat, and that's enough for 24 individual meals. It's packed fresh, it's shipped frozen, vacuum sealed, so it stays fresh on that dry ice. They deliver it to your front porch. It can sit out there while you're at work for a few hours, it's fine. Mine sat out there for several hours in this Texas heat, and when I opened it, it was fine because of that dry ice. You can customize your box. You can go with one of their selections. Either way, you will get exactly what you want. Like I said, they have the quality meats you're looking for, the 100% grass-fed and finished beef, free-range organic chicken. These chickens walk around living a good life. They're not cooped up on top. Have you seen those horrible videos? The way chickens are treated? It's inhumane. These chickens are treated humanely. They have heritage pork, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, sugar and nitrate-free bacon. See, you think you're eating healthy because you're eating all these, all meat, no carb diets. You're putting so many chemicals in your body. Why are you doing that? And I'm so excited because I found out ButcherBox carries scallops. Those are my favorite, and those are next on my list. With ButcherBox, you get the highest quality meat. It's just about $6 a meal and free shipping nationwide, except if you live in Alaska and Hawaii. If you're our family podcast members listening in Alaska and Hawaii, sorry about you. You got to pay shipping, but everybody else is free. So if you want to check out ButcherBox, I love it. Like I said, I love that the animals, everything is humanely resourced and it's clean. I like that. That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to live a healthy life, and that's what I want to put in my body is these good things. Right now, ButcherBox is offering new members ground beef for life. That's 2 pounds of ground beef in every box for the life of your subscription, plus $20 off your first box. That's a really good deal. Thank you, ButcherBox, for doing this for our audience. The web address you need to go to is butcherbox.com/sandwich, or you can just enter the promo code sandwich at checkout. Just remember that. If you can't remember, it's the butcherbox.com/sandwich. Just remember sandwich at checkout. Butcherbox.com/sandwich, or enter promo code sandwich at checkout. I promise you're going to love it. Quality meat. If you're like me, last minute scrambling, I don't know what I'm gonna cook for dinner. Oh, I got a freezer full of meat. ButcherBox, thank you. Oh, sorry, I just heard something. All right, let's move on to something else. I was just looking at these interesting facts. I love facts. Facts make me happy. Oh, it's October. Since I was talking about October candy sales, let's talk about the best buys for October. In my opinion, October is when it's okay to start shopping for Christmas, because a lot of retailers who have like return policies of 30 days will extend them for 90 days, with the holidays approaching. So this is a good time to start your Christmas buying. Now, I have not bought any Christmas yet, but what I have been doing is paying attention to what people say around me. And so, like my mother said something the other day, I'm not going to say it just in case she listens to the podcast, which I doubt it. But I have a list of like ideas for people that I want to buy for. So when Alan says something like he likes and he doesn't think I'm paying attention, I act like I don't even know what he's saying. I write it on my list. When, the kids say something, I write it on my list. It's very, good to do. So that's what I'm doing right now. I haven't bought anything yet. But if you're going to be buying people stuff for Christmas, October is the best month to buy these things, either for yourself or people you've got birthdays or Christmas gifts coming up for, or Hanukkah, or everything else. 6 things you should buy in October in order to get the best deals of the year. Cookware. Now, some people say you shouldn't give stuff like that, like you shouldn't give cookware and appliances. Those are 2 of the things, appliances and cookware. They say, don't give those for gifts. Wait, no, I am one of those people that likes receiving that. One of my favorite gifts to receive is Tupperware. I love Tupperware. I love those pots and pans, those ones they show on TV where everything slides right off. Give me all that for Christmas. I don't care. I don't care if it has to do with cleaning the house. I love it. Also, for the month of October, in addition to cookware and appliances, patio furniture. Well, that makes sense because it's not patio season anymore. They're closing it out. They've got to get rid of all the grills and the patio furniture to make room for holiday decorations. So if you're looking for patio furniture for next year, now's the best time to get it. RVs, recreational vehicles. Now, what is considered an RV? Is it just those big things like Alan's been looking at? Or do other little are ATVs considered RVs? Or are those 2 different things because they're different initials? See, this is when I need Alan here to help me do the podcast because I don't know. So RVs is a good time to buy those. Jeans? Why? Why is October a good time to buy jeans? I don't know, but they say it is. And Broadway shows? I guess that's because you're in between the summer tourist season and right before the holidays. Because if you go to New York, Thanksgiving and Christmas and, the New Year, that's when everybody's in New York. So I guess now, so you could buy the tickets now and hold on to them maybe, or do you have to buy them now and go? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, Broadway's expensive. If y'all have never been to Broadway, it's expensive. I mean, I'm talking $300-$400 a ticket expensive. It's ridiculous. But, I guess they got to pay those big celebrities to be there. If you want to go see Hamilton, forget it. I think that's still a hard one to get tickets to. The last time was it the first time Alan and I went together? Yeah. First and only time. We went to see Kinky Boots, because Kinky Boots, when it was all the rage, when it was it was the Hamilton of Broadway, you couldn't get a ticket. And if you could get a ticket, it was almost $1,000. I'm not lying. It's that bad. But we got to see Kinky Boots, which was really good because that guy, I can't remember his name right now. Oh no. The original guy that was the drag queen in it. Billy something. He's on Pose on the FX channel. I can't remember his name. He's very popular right now. But he was back. He went back to his role that he originated. So that was good. It was fun. It was a fun show, Kinky Boots. And we ended up still paying several $100s for those tickets, and the show was almost about to close. So that was interesting. But if you've never been to New York, you should go, and you should see a Broadway show just because it's one of those things you just kind of have to do. I remember the first time I went to New York, it was with my cousin Cindy, and I was dating a guy who lived in Philadelphia at the time named Kevin. And I worked at a little radio station in Florence, South Carolina. And they would, every time I'd ask for a raise, they wouldn't give me a raise. They were like, but we can give you a really cool trip, because they could do trade on that. So the first time they did that, they sent me to LA. That was fun. I went with my mom. And the second time I said, can I have another raise? They said, no, but we'll send you to New York City. So they sent me to New York. And we went to see the Radio City Music Hall Christmas show, which was really, really cool. And here we are, country bumpkin come to town, because we came from Florence, South Carolina. And we thought you got really dressed up to go to Broadway. So my cousin Cindy and I remember I wore a black sequin dress, and she wore this satin pantsuit with lapels, like a woman's tuxedo. She did my hair, she was a hairdresser. She did my hair up in a French twist. I wore rhinestones. We thought we were going somewhere. And my boyfriend at the time wore a suit, because none of us knew any better. So we show up for Broadway. We looked ridiculous, because it was embarrassing. We were so embarrassed. So don't dress up for Broadway. That's my whole point of the story. Do not dress up for Broadway, because people spend the whole day shopping. They're schlepping around shopping bags, and they're showing up in jeans and their comfy tennis shoes. And we're there in sequins and French twists and red lipstick. It was so embarrassing. But we saw that. We saw the Christmas show at Radio City Music Hall, and we saw Les Miserables. Les Miserables. Now this was 1990, I want to say 93, 92 or 93 we went. And somebody told us, we didn't have any tickets you can go to like the TKTS line. I'm giving you all, man, I'm really off the page. If you go to New York City, here's a tip. You go to the TKTS line, it's in Times Square. The line's wrapped around the building, and that's fine. But somebody told us, now this is again, 1992, 93. I can't remember for sure. I don't know if it's still the same case. They said if you go to the box office around 4:00 in the afternoon, and you wait, because some people that knew this tip would be waiting in line. There was only like 6 or 7 of us there. It wasn't that bad. They release tickets that people had purchased or had put on reserve, and then for some reason couldn't make the trip to New York, or maybe these corporate, guys had people come in, they had to cancel the tickets, and they released them at face value. So we ended up like third row center for Les Miserables. Les Mis, as all the Broadway people call it. It was incredible. And we had learned our lesson from the sequins and everything at the Christmas show. So we just went shopping all day. We had our shopping bags. We were, whatever. We just went and watched the show. And you can ask my cousin Cindy, and she will tell you I'm telling the truth. So we're sitting there, and I'm my boyfriend on one side, Kevin, and my cousin Cindy on the other, and we're watching the show. And it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous show if you've never seen it. I know they made a movie about it. I didn't see the movie because I don't want to ruin the when I've already been to the heights of heaven, I don't want to ruin it with the movie. But I bet it would be pretty good too. But anyway, so I'm sitting there on the third row center, and one of the guys in the chorus, I think he's looking at me. And I'm like, at first you don't say anything, but it's like, this is my imagination. It's like when you're looking at somebody across the restaurant, and you keep looking at them, they keep looking at you. And it's probably one of those situations like we keep looking at each other because each other keeps looking at each other. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? So finally, I looked over at my cousin Cindy, and I said, I think that guy's looking at me. And she said, I was noticing that too. She said, I think he's looking at you too. So the whole show this is going on. The guy's singing to me. Whenever he's doing anything in the stands, he's doing it to me. I was like, this is weird. So at the end of the show, they come out and they're doing a fundraiser because they were raising money for people in Broadway who have AIDS and HIV and things like that. And so they came out, the whole cast, and they're standing there, and the guy's standing there just chomping at the bit on the stage. And the minute they said, okay, we're going to come out, and everybody, and they're going to have a bucket, and they're going to be getting money. The guy leaped off the stage, ran straight to me, and he was like, hi, I just have to meet you. And I said, hi, this is my boyfriend, Kevin. Wasn't that cool? That's a cool little Broadway story. I felt pretty good that day. That's why I'm sharing it with you now. But that's my Broadway story. I was actually flirted with by a guy on the stage at Broadway. So hopefully you'll have that same experience if you're able to sit third row center. I think that's everybody's dream, is like the person on stage will notice you in the crowd, right? When you go to the concert and see somebody singing, you're like, Howie D, wink at me, look at me. That's what I always hope. So anyway, if you go to New York, October's the month to buy tickets to Broadway shows. Wow, I really digressed from that. But Alan did like Kinky Boots when we went to see that. I didn't think Alan would like a musical, but he actually did. He thought it was pretty fun. All right, so let me look through. I have just random facts because, oh gosh. Anyway, y'all just will love my random facts as much as I do. I'm sure you will. Are you a procrastinator like myself? I'm a huge procrastinator. I have had convinced myself, probably falsely, that I do my best when I am pushed to a deadline and I'm in a panic situation. That has not served me well in some instances. In some cases it has. But they say if you put off things, procrastination could actually make you sick. Psychologists say that if you just take care of important stuff, it can actually make you healthier. They did this study at Carleton University, and they found that procrastinators put themselves under so much pressure by delaying action, they're more prone to stress-related illnesses than people who don't put off things. They also experience more back pain, sleeping problems, headaches, colds, and allergies than people who take charge. That's interesting, isn't it? I think I've been suffering from stress-related illness lately. I have been waking up in the middle of the night. It could be pre-menopause or menopause. Let's just be honest. I don't know if it's pre or in the depths of it. I don't know. But I wake up and I am so hot. I kick off all the covers, and then the air conditioner kicks on, and then I put the covers back on because then I'm freezing. Is that menopause? Help me out, ladies. I don't know. Or do I just need to get better pajamas and better blanket? I don't know. Or put the air conditioner where it's supposed to be. But I have been having that. But man, I've been having severe neck pain and headaches. Maybe it's because of stress. What would I have to be stressed about? I wish I could tell you, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But Alan's not here right now, contributing to my stress. I'll tell you what. Office romance. Here's another thing. AskMen.com did this little survey. Look around your office. Your future spouse could be one of your coworkers. So all of you ladies out there who say there's no good single men, they might be sitting next to you in the next cubicle. You just need to pay more attention. 22% of people met their romantic partner at work. And that's compared to 13% who meet online, like Alan and myself. Alan had a lot of really great girls that he worked with, as he would refer to them as gals. Drives me nuts when he does that. But Alan worked with a lot of great girls, and they continue to be some of his best friends today. And I'm really okay with that. Not a lot of people have opposite sex friendships like that, but it's worked really well. So anyway, Alan and I met online. I have dated guys that I worked with before, but it was always really on the down low. Like we didn't want other people to know about it because it could cause problems. Have I ever dated the boss? Let me think. I've been around a long time, probably. All right, so let's see. 22% of people met their romantic partner at work. This is according to AskMen.com survey. 13% online, like Alan and myself. That has got to be higher. This has to be updated. This was actually from October 3rd of 2019. This has got to be updated. That can't be that low. 18% use friends to hook up. I do like that. I like that meeting through mutual friends. I think that's great. It's almost like you have somebody that vouches for you that you're a good person. Okay, and then the last 10% who do it the good old-fashioned way in a bar or nightclub. Have you ever met and dated somebody in a bar or nightclub? I have. It did, one of them actually lasted a little bit, but usually they don't. They usually don't work out, at least not in my case, obviously. They talked to more than 5,000 workers after talking to more than 5,000 researchers. Let me start that sentence one more time and get it right. Thank you, Buzzballs. Talking to more than 5,000 workers, researchers revealed that 2 out of 3 people would be up for dating a colleague. The remaining third would never dream of it. I don't think it's a great idea because then you're stuck working with this person if it doesn't work out. And then it's really awkward and awful. But why are we continually falling for people we work with? You can develop crushes. You could want things to happen. Maybe you act on it. Maybe you don't. They say the reason is simply because we spend more time with our coworkers than we do our friends and romantic partners. And that's true. I spend more time, well, maybe not so much with Alan because Alan works out of the house a lot. So I do spend a lot. I really do. I'm very lucky. I get to spend a lot of time with Alan. We get to go to lunch a lot. We work together now with Emma, Kellie, and me. A lot of the burden of that's been on his back, but I've been doing that with him. So we're really lucky that way. But the average person does not work that closely with their spouse, and you really spend more time with the people you work with. And that's what leads to office affairs. Don't be acting on that just because you see them all the time and they look really cute. How about that? That's my little admonishment for this podcast. Here's another admonishment. Lying parents lead to lying children. This is something I've talked about a little bit because this what I'm about to read to you touches on something I've said before about children respecting police officers. Because I have been, and a girlfriend of mine really got me attuned to this. Whenever she sees a police officer with her children, she has the children go up to the police officers and say, "Thank you for protecting me," or whatever their little vocabulary could handle at the time. So they would have a good relationship with police. She said, because if something ever happens and they are lost or something, there's a bad something going down and they see a police officer, she didn't want them to be afraid of the police. And a lot of people say, if their child's acting up, if you don't straighten up, I'm going to go tell that police officer to arrest you. And that develops a fear. And you think, oh, they know I'm not serious. Kids don't know. They sometimes. So I really love that she said that. So you have to have your children develop a healthy respect for police. But I digressed again. People who were lied to by their parents go on to become liars themselves. We're not talking about the little things about Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, okay? Everybody's okay with that. But new research finds that common lies parents tell, like, if you don't behave, I'll call the police, might seem harmless in the moment, but they have long-term consequences. People lied to more as children grow up to be more manipulative and selfish. Typical lies included, if you don't come home with me right now, I will leave you here by yourself. Well, let me tell you what. My parents followed through on that threat. So that wasn't a lie. So here's the thing. If you say it, you got to follow through with it because my parents did leave me by myself and I had to figure it out. Another lie that you don't follow through with. I did not bring money with me today. We can come back another day. Your kid knows you have a credit card. Don't be lying like that. The results showed people lied to as children were more likely to lie back to their parents. And you want to have that healthy communication with your children, right? I'm really trying to encourage that with my daughter. I want her to tell me everything. And I don't want her to feel like she can come to me and I'm going to judge her or tell her, you're wrong and everybody else is right, because I kind of felt like I got a little bit of that growing up. I want my daughter to be able to come tell me about her first kiss and her crushes. I'm so excited for all that. I'm not that parent that wants to keep her, hibernate and covered up and not exposed to anything. I want her to have healthy relationships with boys and I want her to talk to me about the fight she's having with the girls, which, believe me, her best friends rotate on a daily basis. She's not talking to one today. She's best friends with her the next day. It's crazy this time. But I want her to have that open communication with me. So that's what I've been working on with her. I don't want her lying to me. I don't want her sneaking out of the house. I don't want her I want her to tell me about those things. And a lot, it's kind of weird and it's kind of hard for her because I don't know. She'll tell me like after the fact, well, I liked him. I did. I'm like, no, I did. You never told me. I want to share those things with her. I don't think she's had her first kiss yet. I really don't, because she's only 12 going on 13. She would tell me, right? I hope so. Because I don't want to be like her best friend. I know that's not a healthy thing. I want to be a mom she can come to and ask me anything. And so far, I think we're doing pretty good with that. But right now, all she cares about is this TikTok guy. Are you parents familiar with TikTok? I know Reese Witherspoon did a whole video with her son about it last week, and everybody's laughing about that. He was teaching her what TikTok is. But it's basically a bunch of teenagers who just talk into their phone and make sexy faces and pouty faces, and some of them put more effort into it than others and try to entertain. But I was so mad one time. She was asking me if she could have $10 because Peyton Moormeyer said, if you give me $10, I will follow you back. And I said, absolutely not. That is not happening. And I was trying to explain to her, she couldn't get it through her little 12-year-old brain that he was just using her for money at that point, and that there were 10,000 other girls going to do the same thing, and you weren't going to have some relationship with Peyton Moormeyer. In the meantime, she's got pictures of him all over his wall. He doesn't even sing. When I was a kid and I had a crush, mine was on Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran, and I had my walls covered in posters, but Simon Le Bon could sing. This kid doesn't do anything. He just like makes pouty faces at the camera and takes pouty pictures. Well, that's her thing. But see, I can't say those things to her because then she won't talk to me about, stuff. So I have to act like it's like really a cool deal. Yeah, Emma Kellie, Peyton Moormeyer, cutest thing ever. Nah. Oh, but I'm really excited, and y'all might judge me for this, but I'm taking my daughter to see Billie Eilish Tuesday night on a school night. I know it's hard. She wanted to go, and I wanted to experience these things with her. So we're going to that. I'll tell you how that goes on the next podcast when we record on Wednesday. But Tuesday night, I'm taking my daughter to Billie Eilish with a couple of her girlfriends. It's going to be a really late night. So she's having a sleepover on a school night. My husband, Alan, I just told him today, I was like, you're taking 3 girls to school on Wednesday. I hope it's okay. He's like, that's fine. So that'll be fun. I'll tell you all about our Billie Eilish experience on Wednesday. You'll hear it on the Thursday podcast, but I'll tell you about that. And hopefully no drama. But I took Emma Kellie out to buy an outfit. I was really kind of pleased with what she bought because it's exactly like the stuff I wear. So I guess you'd be surprised how much you rub off on your kids. I wear a lot of black. I wear like black top, black pants, and I'll throw on a really cute jacket. And that's been my go-to since I was in high school, college. I've always done that. Just basic black, throw on a cute jacket. And I remember my friend Tommy Jean, the first time she had a date with the guy that's now her husband. We're talking 25, 30 years ago. Same thing. Black. I got her a black pants, black shirt, and she put on a real bright jacket. Nailed him. Got him. Married. That's a good outfit. But anyway, my daughter, we went today, this new store that just opened in the mall, Tilly's. She had to go. And she got a black, kind of a mini skirt, not too terribly short, and this black bodysuit that snaps under her crotch. I don't know how. I can't wear those. They bother me, but she said it was comfortable. And so she's wearing the black top, black skirt, and a denim jacket. So cute. And I'm like, I told her, I said, that's kind of the stuff your mom would wear. And she didn't seem to balk at it. She thought it was cute. So I was really excited about that. So I'm going to be the cool mom taking the girls to Billie Eilish, even though they'll probably ignore me and try to act like they're not with me. Should I wear something to embarrass them? Or should I just be chill? I don't know. Should I try to? No, I'm going to be chill. I've decided. I don't want to embarrass my daughter. Even though I'm looking at her the wrong way. I can't even, like today, I touched her. Ooh, don't touch me. Like what? I don't understand that. Hey, let me tell you about Your Super. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. But again, back to what Alan and I are doing, trying to live a healthier lifestyle, putting better things into our bodies. You notice a common theme. We come back to this a lot. The reality is 9 out of 10 people, even though you're trying your best, you're not getting enough fruits and vegetables. And when you don't get the proper nutrition, in addition to all the stresses we have going on in our life, we're probably not exercising enough either, right? you're increasing your risk for chronic illnesses like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, even cancer. It's been proven. I don't know if proven necessarily, but it's a lot of people's theories that poor diet, harsh chemicals, stress can cause cancer. So Michael and Crystal, they were the founders of Your Super, and they discovered firsthand just how important nutrition is to your health. They are professional tennis players. They were, professional tennis players. You know, they're happy, healthy, active. What's sexier than somebody just getting off the tennis court, right? Well, Michael was diagnosed with cancer, so Crystal started making superfood mixes to help him rebuild his immune system after going through all the chemotherapy. And when they saw the impact that superfood mixes had in improving Michael's health, they said, you know what, we need to share this with other people. And so that's where Your Super began. I love that they have a very transparent supply chain and that they know all of their farmers. They want to know, I want to know what I'm putting in my body, especially when it comes to something that's claiming to be nutritious, right? Labels. What is this gobbledygook? I want to know for sure what I'm eating is clean and good and superfood. And Your Super has so many free recipes too. So you're not just doing the same thing over and over so you get kind of tired of that. Lots of creative and easy ways to add superfood mixes to your daily meals. And you'll be getting a stronger immune system. You'll have better energy. The Power Matcha Mix, it will help you stay alert all day without the sugar crash that you get from that coffee in the morning. Try the Power Matcha Mix if you're looking for a healthier alternative to coffee. I know a lot of people are trying to get off of that. You can get the cleanest superfood and plant protein mixes at yoursuper.com. That's YOUR super.com, not the possessive your, YOUR super.com. Get 15% off your first order when you use the code SANDWICH at checkout at yoursuper.com. Don't forget, 15% off with promo code SANDWICH at checkout. I wish Alan was here to tell you because he's really been the one that's been using Your Super and loving it. And I've noticed a difference in his mood, in his energy, in his workouts. He's been able to get a lot more accomplished in the gym because he likes to do that HIIT fitness, you know. It's been working for him. My husband's been looking good. He went and got his tattoo. You know, he's been doing the tattoo thing. He never had a tattoo until I met him, and he talked about it a long time and really put a lot of thought into it. I think he was 45 when he got his first tattoo, and it was, a snake battling a lion. I believe that's right. Snake battling a lion, snake battling a leopard, something like that. He's not here for me to look at it, so I can't remember. But I remember when he got it, it was like, wow, that's so big. Wow, I never saw that before. And his parents were like, wow, that's so big. But now we're all just so used to looking at it. But then he went on to get the one of me on his arm. And then he had this other dragon put down his other arm. And man, tattoos are addictive. I met some people in Kansas, same thing. They're like, man, you get one, you just can't stop. And I thought Alan, being so into it, he'd really want me to get one, but he really doesn't. I don't know why. He said if I did get one, he'd want me to get it like on my foot. He thinks feet tattoos are pretty sexy. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I don't think I'm going to. I'm 52. I don't think I want a tattoo. I might surprise myself, but that's not my thing. But I do think if I was going to get one, I've always said I'd probably get like the number 13, like a Roman numeral or something. But it's so cliche. Everybody does that, right? But like on the back of my neck so I could hide it. But then I was like, I don't know. Maybe if I did a foot tattoo, maybe just like something really, really small around the inside part of your ankle, like that little soft part between your ankle bone and your heel, maybe right there. But have you seen Nicole Richie's ankle tattoo? It's really pretty. She made it look like an ankle bracelet with a cross hanging down on the instep of her foot. That might be something. Probably not going to do it, but if I was, that might be the go-to one for me. Anyway, I have been all over the page tonight because if you haven't noticed, Alan's been noticeably silent. Yeah, he's not here. It's been just me for a Sandwiches and Lovin' podcast. And I've enjoyed my time with you, but I've realized now I really need him in more ways than one. I need my husband to help me co-host a podcast, but it's been okay. I think we got through it together. I thank you for hanging out with me. I know I went all over the page with, important holidays. Very important holidays coming up in October. with best things you can buy for October. That was a good one there, right? My little backstory on Broadway. We talked about tattoos, talked about lying to your kids. Don't do that. Office romances. We have covered a lot in this podcast. And it's been good. It's been good. But I promise you this. I will promise you this. I will bet money on this. Alan Evans will be back with me for a sandwich and some lovin' on the next podcast. And it's going to be a good one. He had a whole, let me tell you people, had a whole stack of stuff here to talk to you about, but we're going to get to that next podcast. I just want to tell you this. If you listen to this podcast, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. That means a lot. That means you are hardcore, you are family, and you are sticking with me because family sticks together through good times, stressful times, bad times. That's when it really matters. So thank you for being with me tonight. I wish now, before I knew we were doing this, that I was going to be doing the podcast by myself, I probably would not have had the Buzzball. But it's been one of those days where, you know, alcohol's not always the answer, children, but sometimes it is. And tonight I really needed that drink. And I don't regret having it, except for the fact that I had to do the podcast by myself. So I probably was a little bit scatterbrained and I could have been a little bit more focused. But I do appreciate you hanging out with us. You don't know how much our podcast family means to us. Alan and I are blown away sometimes when we go out, and the people who come up to us, the notes we receive, the emails we receive. We do have some. I wanted to wait with when Alan's here so we can talk about some of the really nice, generous things that some of our podcast listeners have done for us recently. That it's been really just a joy for us to have this podcast family grow into what it's become. So thank you for being here with me solo tonight. And I promise we'll be back to a regular podcast tomorrow. This was just something that was out of our control for tonight. But thank you. Love you desperately. I mean that. And I'm not just saying that because that's usually Alan's line. We both feel that way. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you for listening to me solo on this podcast tonight. And in the words of Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich.